Welcome back to Singles, Married, and Family with Pastor Harold. Today, I'll be revealing some hidden truths about dating. Please let me know your thoughts at the end of the video by leaving a comment. You can also like, share, subscribe, and follow for more. Thank you. So here are some hidden truths about dating that no one really tells you. 1. A kiss doesn't always mean that they like you. Oftentimes people will kiss someone because they feel that it's the right thing to do. For example, if you're on a date with a guy and things are going well, he might feel pressure to kiss you at the end of the date even though he might not actually have feelings for you yet. This is why it can be confusing when someone kisses you and then nothing happens after. They may have only been attracted to the idea of kissing you and not actually to you. The same can be said for when someone abruptly ends a relationship. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that they hate you or don't care about you anymore. It could just mean that they never really had strong feelings for you in the first place. If you've ever been in this situation before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You think that everything is going great and then out of nowhere, the person suddenly breaks up with you. It feels terrible, but in a lot of cases, it probably means that the person never really had genuine feelings for you in the first place. 2. People won't change for you. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that our significant other will change for us. When you fall in love with someone, you start to imagine a future with them. And in that future, they have all the qualities you want them to have. Unfortunately, reality doesn't always match up to our expectations. Sometimes we ignore all of our partner's flaws and pretend that it's okay when it's not. Just because you're in love with someone doesn't mean that you should ignore all their problems. We all have faults, but there's a limit to how much we can change. There are some things that you simply can't compromise on. For example, if your partner cheats on you and you take them back, they're probably going to cheat on you again. That's just the kind of person they are, and that's not your fault. There are so many people who stay in abusive relationships, hoping that their partner will change, but it never happens. So please don't make the mistake of ignoring your partner's faults and pretending that everything is okay. Love isn't always enough to make a relationship work. 3. Most guys will approach women who they have no chance with. Have you ever noticed a guy approaching a woman who he has absolutely no chance with? It's always the good-looking guys that do this. In fact, it's the guys who believe that they're better than everyone else who do this. Why would a guy waste his time with a girl that he knows he can't have? It's usually because he's trying to boost his ego. It makes him feel better about himself to know that girls are interested in him. He may not actually want to date them, but he'll still approach them anyway. This is why you should never get caught up in your looks. There's always going to be someone out there who thinks they're better than you. Don't let those people get to you. Most of the time, the person you're waiting for ain't worth the wait. How many times have you found yourself waiting for the right person? You're holding out for someone who you think is out there for you, but in reality, they may not exist. You may be wasting your time waiting for someone who will never come along. It's hard to admit this, but most of the time the person you're waiting for ain't worth it. You're better off moving on and finding someone new. Even if you do find the person you're waiting for, there's no guarantee that things will work out between you two. So please don't waste your life away waiting for someone who may never come along. It's better to move on and find someone new than to waste your time waiting for someone who isn't worth it. 5. Physical attraction is important, but it's not everything. Physical attraction is important in a relationship, but it's not everything. It's easy to get caught up in the physical aspect of a relationship, but you shouldn't ignore the other important qualities. Compatibility and shared values are also important. Just because someone is physically attractive to you doesn't mean that they're right for you in the long run. So please don't overlook the other important qualities in a relationship unless because someone is physically attractive. Looks aren't everything. 6. You can't make someone fall in love with you. One of the hardest things to do is to make someone fall in love with you. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of romance and to think that you can make it happen. But the truth is that you can't force someone to love you. All you can do is be yourself, and hope that they like you for who you are. If they don't, then you need to move on. Don't waste your time trying to force something that's not meant to be. 7. They don't like you as much as you like them. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new relationship and to think that the other person likes you as much as you like them. But the truth is that they probably don't. You may be putting in all the effort and giving them all your attention, but they're not putting in the same amount of effort as you. They may not even like you as much as you like them. It's hard to admit this, but it's important to be aware of it. Don't waste your time with someone who doesn't like you as much as you like them. 8. It's okay to be single. Being single can be tough, but it's important to remember that it's okay to be single. You don't need to be in a relationship to be happy. There are plenty of benefits to being single. You have more freedom, more time for yourself, and you don't have to worry about anyone else's needs. Don't feel like you need to be in a relationship just for the sake of it. If you're single, enjoy it. 9. Your last Tinder date wasn't actually a date. Let me explain this one. You swipe right on Tinder and you start chatting with a girl. You'd hit it off and you decide to meet up. But to her, it wasn't really a date. She was just being friendly. This happens all the time and it's easy to get caught up in it. You think that you finally met someone special, but in reality, they were just being friendly. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's important to be aware of it, so that you don't waste your time. 10. They're playing the field. This one hurts, but it's important to be aware of it. If you're dating someone, chances are they're playing the field. That means they're seeing other people while they're seeing you. It's not always easy to tell when someone is doing this, but there are some signs to look out for. If they're always busy when you ask them out, or if they never bring up the topic of being together, then they're probably seeing other people. It's hard to admit this, but it's important to be aware of it so that you don't waste your time. 11. It's not always what it seems. First impressions can be deceiving. Someone may seem perfect for you on the outside, but in reality, they're not. You may be attracted to their looks or status, but that doesn't mean that they're right for you. It's important to look beyond the surface and get to know someone before you make any judgments. That way you won't be caught off guard by their true colors. 12. You can't save them. Sometimes you may meet someone who seems like they need saving. Maybe they're from a broken home, or they have a difficult past. Whatever the reason, you may feel like you need to save them, but the truth is you can't. You may think that you can, but in reality, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. The only person who can save them is them. 13. Too much effort. Sometimes you may meet someone who you really like. You put in all the effort and you feel like you're giving them everything they could ever want. But in reality, they're not putting in the same effort as you. It's tough to admit this, but it's important to remember that you can't make someone like you. If they're not putting in the effort, then it's probably not going to work out. 14. The fear of commitment. Some people are scared to commit to a relationship. They may have been burned in the past, or they may just be afraid of settling down. Whatever the reason, it's important to be aware of it. If they're not willing to commit, then it's probably not going to work out. Don't waste your time with someone who's not ready for a relationship. 15. They're not the one. Sometimes you may meet someone who you think is the one, but in reality, they're not. It's tough to admit this, but it's important to remember that not every relationship is meant to work out. You may think that you found the love of your life, but eventually you'll realize that they weren't right for you. It's important to be open to new possibilities and not hold on to someone who's not right for you. These are just a few of the many hidden truths about dating. It can be a tricky and complicated world, but hopefully this video has given you some insight. Do you agree with these hidden truths? What are some other hidden truths that you think we should know? Share your thoughts below. And if you like this video, be sure to check out the next one. Thanks for watching.